Persperity Podcast. In the shadows we find our light. Through the struggles we will take flight. Healing hearts and mending minds. Together we'll leave the past behind. Welcome to Persperity Podcast, where hope is found. Voices rising up, breaking new ground. With every story shared, we grow and learn. In this journey of healing, it's our turn. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Oh yeah. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Trauma whispers, but love will shout. In this space of trust, there's no doubt. We'll explore the depths of pain and grace, finding strength in every embrace. Welcome to Persperity Podcast, where hope is found. Voices rising up, breaking new ground. With every story shared, we grow and learn. In this journey of healing, it's our turn. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Take a breath and join the ride. Together we'll walk side by side with open hearts and open minds. In this podcast space, true peace we'll find. Welcome to Persperity Podcast, where hope is found. Voices rising up, breaking new ground. With every story shared, we grow and learn. In this journey of healing, it's our turn. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Persperity Podcast, a safe space for people healing from trauma. Persperity Podcast, a safe space for people healing from trauma. Persperity Podcast, a safe space for people healing from trauma. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Persperity Podcast. Today, we're tuning into a topic that's close to all of our hearts, the soundtrack of self discovery. We all have a unique melody to our lives. Some parts are sweet, harmony, while others are a jarring, a tonal mess. But what happens when we finally learn to listen to our own rhythm and compose a life that's truly ours? This week, I have an incredible artist of self discovery joining me. She's a visionary who has navigated the highs and lows of healing and finding her true purpose. Please help me welcome the one and only Naomi Andrews. Let's dive into her story and learn how she has mastered her own soundtrack. I'm gonna give you a moment to share, like, you got a business. What do you have going on before we get into these questions?
Um, well, I just been having a little bit of like modeling going on. But I'm currently a teacher. I am, getting my master's in education, and I'm a seventh grade teacher here in Baltimore, Maryland. But I do decide to get into like modeling and stuff. I graduated in Atlanta, so that's where like most of my modeling really started. But ever since I moved to Maryland, I've just been trying to like ease back into the modeling scene, and yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, all right. So in that your modeling and in between the teaching and everything, um, was there any hobbies that you do? Is there any like business things that you're doing? Do you have a business?
Mhm. No, I don't have a business, but I would love to have one. I'm still trying to figure that part of me out. I'm not there yet, but I do have an idea of like creating some type of business. I just don't know yet. But I do like going to like events. I went to some like holistic event where like this lady had a cookbook and she cooked with just raw vegan meals inside of it, and I enjoyed myself a lot. I feel like maybe if I did start a business, it would be some type of like vegan business or food or like a drink, something like that, like some type of natural drink. I'm not there all the way, but definitely something up that alley.
You got that. You got this. Backstory. Naomi and I know each other from the illustrious Clarkland University. As you know, I've had a
Yeah.
few, people from CAU on here. She marks the third person, and Naomi's intelligent and bright, and she is creative. So I just knew I had to have her as a guest, and I know tonight she's going to inspire
and bless everybody. So stay tuned in. All
Thank
right,
you.
ready to transition into some of these questions? All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Your life had a soundtrack. What is the title of the song that represents your most difficult season of self doubt? What are those lyrics?
Oh, interesting. Because I was gonna say, oh, I definitely have one for like the good season, but for the bad season,
You can do both.
okay. Um, I would say for the bad seasons, I am a Rod Wade fan. I don't understand the hate.
Oh, all right.
Still here.
Okay. Yes.
I don't understand the hate, but I would say Shooting Star in my bad seasons. It starts off literally as I'm focused on my grind, never mind all that stupid stuff. Is That's the first song, like lyrics at the bat and like out the song, and I'm just like, oh yeah, get rid of everything that's unnecessary, that's not good. That's a very good song for me.
That's good. Okay. What are your what
But
positive? What's good? What's better?
so Do What I Want by Lil Uzi. Something about that song,
Oh yeah.
it
What
just
we
brings me
I do
it brings me,
yeah.
yeah. What it I think he says, the entire song or the chorus, he's like, no, I do what I want. No, I do what I
Yeah.
want. I'm just like, yeah. That's how I know like I'm in a good season if I can really embrace that song. But yeah.
I was a little Uzi Vert fan like in his earlier times. Now I'm kind of
Mhm.
still feeling him out on his
Yeah.
music. But yeah, man is one
Yeah.
of my favorite. It's yeah.
Yeah. I love
All
that
right.
song.
Next question. How did you learn to be a better listener to the subtle whispers of your own intuition rather than the loud, often critical noise of external expectation?
Um I would say I'm still trying to figure that out. Like I've realized that your body is it speaks to you in ways that you don't even notice if you allow it to go unnoticed. And just recently, like this past year, it took me a lot to just even like say that I needed a therapist, because I just felt like a lot of the seasons I went through were just like temporary. But it's just because like I feel like I had, you know I feel like I had a lot of ways to just like substances or ways to like just ignore it. And I feel like once I caught all that noise out and really just started listening to like what my body was telling me, like the feeling of stress or anxiety, it told me to, okay,
Mhm.
talk to somebody, like maybe you can't do with this on your own. So
Mhm.
I would, to add to that, like I'm a Virgo, and so something about just me personally just cannot like be imperfect. And I feel like when it comes to like me like being off, I'm like, oh, take a day, bounce back.
Mhm.
And then but it was like a moment where I just was not bouncing back. Like I was like, okay, like you want to show up as this way, but you're not. And like I can just feel like my body like being really, really exhausted. And I feel like my mind was becoming very foggy. Like I couldn't even really trust myself with a lot of things. So it just got to a point where I was just listening to my body. And once I got a therapist, she gave me the tools and everything. And I feel like a lot of things started falling into place for me. And it really just made me understand like where I am is necessary. Was just like listen to your body, like listen to it.
Yeah, that's deep. Wow. Kudos to you for sure. Like being able to identify when you needed to trust someone to come in. Therapy is
Mhm.
definitely a huge step, but it's a
Yeah,
vulnerable step because that's saying, hey, I need, you know, to help. I need someone to help me hold myself responsible, and take the wheel.
exactly.
So that's
I think
huge.
that was that part. It's the holding your own self accountable. And it's like, I want to be perfect, but I'm not, really doing the self work.
Yeah.
But it took a minute. Like, I feel like the therapist gave me a lot of tools. Like, though I journal all the time, she gave me like prompts to journal to, or just like being more intentional about like what happened like when I was a kid and seeing how like it plays out now. Just like a lot of things are connected. And like if you just really listen to like that inner child, it'll bring you back to where you were, but sometimes that inner child is very, like people ignore her, or you ignore that inner that person because you're just so focused on today. So yeah, or on the grind.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. I think a lot of my instances of my just my inner child popped up when I was at CAU, because it helped me identify a lot of the things that I was not dealing with. But also at the same time, it's like you tend to see other people that are away from family and parents in life, that they're used to, reacting and doing different things. And it's just like, okay, well, am I seeing myself? And that's something that I need to deal with through that person. Like I'm looking at this person and I'm seeing behavior where I'm like, that's similar to how I feel, or how I want to react, or like, do I dislike the way this person is moving, because that's something that I'm battling with myself. So I definitely,
Yeah.
it was an eye opener at CAU. Definitely, I think the independency was huge as well, because you either had a choice to allow yourself to just sink in that environment, or you had to float. You know what I mean? It was truly find a way.
Yes.
You don't realize
That
it.
is real. Yeah. I feel like if I wasn't in track, I feel like I would have been lost just a tad bit. I feel like track definitely did a great job at just making me get up every day. Like get up and, talk to people. Don't sit in what you think you should sit in. I feel like being part of something really just helped me stay in like a good mindset, and like you said, bringing out that inner child, because you do a lot of you do a lot of things to hinder that child or ignore it. And I feel like, just being at CAU, it helped a lot. I agree.
That's huge.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
That's huge. I'm learning to be in inclusive environments and not a loner, because no one gets anywhere alone. It's not a I, it's a, you know, you got to come together with people. Got to get out of that social anxiety mode.
Okay.
But let's transition into another question. What was the moment you realized you were living a life composed by someone else? And what was the first note you changed to start composing your own?
Mm. I'm not even gonna hold you. I feel like I well never next I don't think that my life was ever necessarily composed by somebody else. I would say it was definitely just like hindered, like it was silenced if anything. But I would say like the first note that I made was silence. Like, okay, it's a silent note. Like I don't when I am in like issues, I take a minute to just step back and really see what's going on. Like, okay, is this for me?
Mm,
Is this what I want to do? And I really just take a second. I try not to react, and then that's when the music comes in. That's when the drama happens. But it's like I wish I knew musical terms, but it's like like that silent pause, and it's like
yeah.
bam, like it's like that. Like I'll definitely like feel it out before I do any type of like noise.
Wow. That's good, because it's like, for me, I tend to let me take a step back and not say for me, but I tend to see a lot of people that don't know how to move to the beat of their own drum, if that makes sense. They're
Mhm.
not able to, they're moving, but it's to someone else's compared to what they should be doing individual wise. Do you
Right.
think that, based off of someone, what they may have gone through in their childhood or even adulthood, that those things might be what is not allowing them to have an individuality? Because I see it a lot as in adults. It's very
Yeah.
adults.
It's like a people pleaser like skill, because I feel like I'll say people pleasing is a skill. I feel like not everybody has it, and I feel like that's something that you have to like be groomed into, like being able to be like really considerate of like how you think people should like be around you, I guess, and you act a certain type of way so things can manifest in that way. And I feel like
Yeah.
it kind of becomes controlling though, like, when you try to you be that type of person for somebody. So it's just like when you realize you're like pleasing too much, you realize you're being really, really confined. And I feel that in myself sometimes. I just feel like when I feel like I can't really talk inside a safe space, that's when I know it's not good for me. Like
Oh
when
my,
it's yeah.
I'm sorry. I see your fur baby. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, she
gonna make
is
a come?
very distracting.
Hey. I just seen whiskers. I was like, oh my god.
Yes.
But
Um yeah.
yes, the what you said. It's safety is everything, but in that it's like for me, like I tend to feel a lot of anxiety here when
Mm.
well, not even anxiety, like it's like a pressure or a weight here when I'm just like I want to say something, I want to feel something, I want to be angry, I want to be upset, I want to cry, and I can't do nothing, but it's just sitting there,
Mhm.
and it just
Mm.
irritates me, and I'm like, why can't I get it out? Why? What is this?
Mm.
And sometimes I tend to
Interesting.
find myself like sitting in therapy, and I'm just like, okay, I'm wanting to say what I like. Sometimes I don't know how to share how I feel, but I want
Mhm.
to act it out. But I
Mhm.
know if I act it out, I know where I'm going if I act it out. They're like, oh no, you're going to the institution. But I'm not saying I want to do nothing crazy. But it's just like, look, can I just like just give me a moment to just like if
Yeah.
therapists teamed up with smash rooms and we just smash some stuff and then go into a session, we on to
Oh
something.
my gosh. Hold on. I think you just created something. That's very, very smart. Therapy inside the crash room or the smash room? Oh
Who
yeah.
I'm telling you that the therapist, if you're watching, you team up with them or have a area where they could just have something
Yes.
smash. Because I'm just like a lot of times I'm just like, you know what? I just because even times I
Okay.
don't even be angry, and it just be an emotion that I'm feeling that I just can't, that doesn't come up until I can just actively do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just like it does a lot, even if it's like the splash therapy that they have as well at the Smash House, is
Mhm.
where instead of smashing, you can just like throw paint everywhere. You ever saw that?
Wow.
Or you can throw
No.
food fights. They have food fight one. Yeah,
No, I have never heard of that.
I really want to do the
Thank
food.
you. I'm gonna be
The
looking into that.
paint splashing one. I'm like something like that, so I can express myself. Like it's
Yeah.
nowadays healing seems so controlled.
Yeah.
It's like a controlled aspect of how you should do it, when you should do it, and what it looks like. And it
Mhm.
becomes a thing where if I have to go through all these obstacles, or if I have to do it the way you saying it should look like, and that doesn't make me
Mhm.
normal, why should I do it?
Right.
It's like comfortable over here. It's become just weird. Like
Yeah.
I can't just heal in my own time. I'm good. I'm going to get to the place I need to get to, so I can function in this world accordingly to what God wants me to do, but as well as me not having to force myself all the time to be like,
Yeah.
okay, well you gotta do this because then that'll make that person feel comfortable. If I know for a fact I'm going to an environment and I know I haven't healed enough, I'm not gonna put
Mhm.
myself in that environment. Or if I'm in that environment, I'm only in a little bit and I'm gonna try, but I gotta leave.
Mm. See, and that's where I think I'm still growing in. I feel like I put myself into situations where I think I am healed, I'm able to be there, but nah, like a lot of things manifest in a way that I did not plan for it to manifest. But like I will say I am thankful for a lot of the experiences God has put me in. I feel like, I'm only 22 and I feel like I still have so much to grow. I am the type I'm the hard-headed type. I have to put myself in it and then see what I did. Like see what happens. And so I feel like I am still learning how to like be in certain rooms and at the like healing point that I am. But I will say I'm glad the world is becoming like more of a healing becoming more is getting more into a healing mindset. Like a lot of jobs are starting to like create days where, you have it off because, you need a mental health day. The students are getting mental health days now. And so I feel like that's very necessary, but like you said, everybody heals different, or they manifest their issues different, and it shouldn't be forced. I feel like everybody should have their own like necessary mental day. Like though they have it in there, maybe this is not a good day for me to have a mental break. This is just not. Like I'm supposed to be on my grind right now. But that's another thing. Like some people do have to force you to break. You know, so, and sometimes it might just be a body or it might be a job. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Break up out of that
Mhm.
comfort zone, because sometimes it is, I'm sorry, the comfort zone in itself is like, sometimes it is your biggest enemy, because it's like I'm comfortable, but you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and or
Yeah.
comfortable being uncomfortable and uncomfortable being comfortable, because it's gonna be
Hmm.
places that God want to take you, but you always looking checking the temperature. Oh, I'm uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah.
I'm learning that. I'm learning that you know, irritation don't equal uncomfortable. It just equal, hey, you just don't want to do it because you know you're supposed to do it. that's
Yes,
that's
that's
all.
real too.
You're supposed to do it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna transition into another question.
Okay.
Healing isn't linear. Can you describe a time when you felt like you had taken 2 steps forward in your journey, only to take 3 steps back? And what song or mindset helped you get back on track?
Um, yeah, I feel like I'm in that situation now. I feel like, at the beginning of the summer, I took like about 30 steps forward, and now I feel like I'm taking about 50 steps backwards right now. Like it's really unfortunate, but I would say the song. Can you repeat the question one more time?
So, healing isn't linear. Can you describe a time when you felt like you had taken 2 steps forward in your journey, only to take 3 steps back? And what song or mindset helped you get back on track?
Yeah, so like I said, I feel like I'm in a situation now. Like I feel like what I thought was like a safe space wasn't. And I would say the song, mm, I've been listening to a lot of Young Boy right now. I'm not I wish I could like have a better song. But okay, I have been listening to Can't Keep My Eyes Off You by Lauren Hill. It's just like very, very soothing. I have to listen to like either something like that's very like, yeah, or something that's very like, like just really mellow and just working with
Mhm.
just my mindset, just trying to get me going in a positive way. And I feel like Lauren Hill does a good job of just keeping you sane.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Like, well, mine's right now. Like, do you listen to gospel music?
I do.
There's this praise and worship group, and they have this song. It's by Circuit Rider Music, and it has this lady named Enola Bayoye in Black Voices Movement. It's called "Lace Up Your Boots."
Mm.
I'm listening to that song. Oh my
Nice.
God, it goes like, "Lace up your boots, put on your backpack. It's time to ride."
Mm,
It's
like that.
it gets me hyped. So they have a rap version, and then they have the regular praise and worship version. Um,
Mhm,
I'm fond of both of them, but that song gets me going, and I love how in different seasons are different areas of like a life. If I'm dealing with something, how a song can like, I found that music, gospel music. I've traded a lot of like different secular music for gospel. Like, if
mhm,
I'm listening to rap, I used to listen to rap a lot. Now I listen to
mhm,
a lot of gospel rap. I used to listen to
mm,
R&B. Now I listen to a lot of gospel R&B, and I
mm,
a lot of the wording and the beats and everything resonating where I am. And I'm like, that's
mhm.
right there. It definitely gets me hyped. And then that Fantasia Barrino song. Have you listened to her new gospel song?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Fantasia dropped something.
Yes, she did. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Have Your Way. Oh my gosh, I gotta send it to you. It's about I think it's about 8 to 10 minute song, but it's a praise
Okay.
and worship song, and it has blessed me beyond measures, for real.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm definitely looking to it.
yeah. So I'm gonna send you those. But
Okay.
with that, like, do you care to elaborate of like some of the you don't have to talk about the situation per se, but some of the feelings and emotions that you may be feeling now with what you're challenged with, and what would you like to be?
Um, I've noticed that my anxiety manifests like in my stomach and my back. I realized my anxiety, it really does play a part in like the flight or flight response. I never noticed this until now. Like I never like listening to your body is very very important because I remember like when I was younger, like okay, when I put myself into spaces and like I might get this pit in my stomach. I have no idea what the pit was. I'm thinking I'm hungry, no idea. I'm just like, okay, this is just a feeling. But like now it's manifesting again. It's manifesting in my stomach and my back. I'm like, oh, this is anxiety. This is a flight or fight response. Like I never knew this what it looked like for me. And it's just, it's just like it's just my body really telling me like, okay, like this is not somewhere you're welcomed or you where you need to be. And it's like now I have to speak up for myself. Like I thought advocated for myself when I was younger, or back in the day, but like no, this is a whole different type of advocating for yourself. This is a whole type of piece that you have to enforce, for yourself. Though, you're not necessarily happy with the situation, but it's like, okay, now it's time for you to put yourself first if you feel like you're not being heard.
Yeah,
So, like I can do all I can to, advocate for myself, tell, how I feel, but it gets to a certain point where it's just like cool, like I'm just gonna have to move on. I'm gonna just have to deal with this anxiety, but in the sense of like doing what I need to do to create my comfortable space.
yeah. So
And
like,
I mean, yeah.
no, go ahead.
And I mean, like, it's not necessarily like I'm not trying to be negative in a way of like outputting, but sometimes when you do choose yourself, it looks negative to, outside looking in. Like, I've seen people who chose themselves, over me, and it does look like a negative, but it's not them trying to be angry or mad, but it's just like they're choosing themselves and you're just not part of that. I
I
feel
say
like
that could definitely, that is hard because I've been in that. That's the area of rejection, because it's like I wouldn't have done you like that, so why would you do me like that? Or
mm-hmm,
you had a choice and you didn't choose me. I thought that was the best option. We were flowing, and I don't think that like life and therapy and people, it could really tell you how to flow through a situation or a predicament the best way. They could tell you what you should not do, meaning as in the repercussions for your actions, but as in
okay, yes.
processing it and moving forward. Because the thing that people are looking for the most, and I've noticed this with every guest I had on at least this podcast, or even before this, meeting people that's going through trauma or tumultuous circumstances, they want to know, how do
Mhm,
I stop feeling this way? And
mhm.
how do I get over this? And when does it get better? It Life,
Yeah.
it stops hurting so bad, and it stops bothering you so much, but it's still
Yeah.
there. You have your days where you just like, and then other times you just flowing. But I just think that it just calms down. But it's just a memory. It's just a um that sits in to let you know, like, hey, that happened. Take caution next time. That it may look,
Yes.
rather than preventing yourself, you're just like, I don't know, but let me test it out. But maybe I'm just not in a place right now because it looks like where it was and I haven't healed yet. But I just think that healing kind of like is that it's a feeling of, let me not say how it feels because it feels different to everybody. What it looks like is, what, I come to terms that I cannot change the circumstance, I cannot change the situation, but I can continue to live my life. I can be in a more peaceful place with me and realizing that I did the best that I could, or hey, I can't
Hmm.
change circumstance. So I think that it's in that
Hmm.
action and the movement of it, is it's just you at peace with it. And I think a lot of people, they tend just to tell you that I don't know. I think it bothers me a little bit when people come up and they say, "Hey, like you look so much at peace," especially when you don't know them. It's like I don't even know you. What are you talking about? I'm at peace. Hold
Mhm.
up, I
Mhm.
don't know you.
Mhm.
I spoke to you about 3, 4, maybe 5 times, but
Mhm.
it does hit different when somebody comments
Yeah.
on something because you're still walking through that journey. You're still walking through that
Yeah.
space or that area, and it is
Right.
tender for you. And the last thing you want is someone to tell you how to walk through something that they're not going through, even if
Yeah.
they've been through it. It hit different.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. That's so real.
Just
Yeah, I feel like the whole moving to like Baltimore from Atlanta, because I'm not from Atlanta, but I have family in Georgia, and it felt like easy to fall because I got family in an hour. Like, okay, no, this all right, I can brush this off. Like I'm in Georgia, and especially in Florida, like I ain't nothing to lose a job. Only, because I'm my mama down the street. So it's just like, when you remove yourself from all those safety nets, it's like, okay, now you have to really understand those what healing looks like for you. And though you think you're healed, like healing is a journey. Like that's something I'm still trying to understand. Like I think I am good, I can put myself into these spaces like we thought, like we said, but you realize you like, oh no,
yeah.
no, I need to go home. Type of stuff.
Do you think it's a? Do you think therapy hit different based off of race?
Hmm. I couldn't really speak too much on that because I've never been like uh consulted by anybody outside of my race. I prefer not to because I don't really feel like you understand what I go through as a black woman though. Like yeah, I mean, you can understand emotions and you can try to read all these books about it, but it's just different from being able to talk with somebody who looks just like you, have the same experience in a sense like you. And like especially since, black women like older than me, I look at them as like in a mother figure, especially if you're a therapist, like I'm gonna really try to pick up what you're putting down. So yeah, I feel like it's necessary because if somebody of another race is talking to me, maybe like I could understand in a sense of like universally, but like it's different when it's just somebody who looks just like you because it's more intended for me.
That's
So
good.
yeah.
Because I think a lot of people they just be like, black therapy is different than having a white therapist. And other people there, and again, if you have a African American therapist, you have a Hispanic therapist, a white therapist, it doesn't that whatever fits you is what fits you. I mean, offend anybody on here. Um,
Hmm.
but it is a thing where black women feel that they another black woman can better understand them. Like my therapist, she's biracial, and sometimes
Hmm.
we uh we tend it tends to teeter sometimes. So I tend to
Hmm.
see like, okay, I kind of have the best of both worlds. So when you switch to this side, the other side, she kind of comprehends and understands. Um,
Okay.
but for me, I'm very big on having a therapist that looks like me as well.
Yeah.
For the longest, I've always just had Caucasian therapists, um,
Hmm.
which is nothing against that. Somebody was like, you definitely
Hmm.
need to try having a African American therapist, and I was a little challenged with that. I'm not even gonna lie, because
Hmm.
uh, having African American therapist is very direct and bold. They call you out on your stuff. They hold.
Immediately.
They are not about to. Hey, sweet lady, you can.
No. Yeah, I had to learn that too. My therapist, she was Jamaican and like she was cool. She just told me how it is every time. Like did not sugarcoat. I'd just be like, wait, but let me tell you this. She like, no. Like I'd be like, oh,
Facts. So I had
okay.
I said, like, look, not the one I have now, but shout out to her. She's cool. But the one I had before, she was like, listen here, cut your out, da 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 da, because at the end of the day, you can be done with all them soliloquies and stuff you got going on. So let me know when you're ready to start the session. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to start the session. I ain't never had nobody talk to me like that. We go ahead, do your stuff. But it hit different. It really
Yeah,
did. Because
it
it is
does.
experience. Because they're going to see themselves in you, but they also want you to be great. They want you to be safe. They want you
Yeah. Yes.
but I'm glad that you brought that up. I really am because wow, I the experience is something that I would say that African American women, man, if you do try out African American therapists, if it doesn't work out for you, any therapist I say that resonates with you, please click with them and have that great conversation with them of healing. But definitely experience an African American therapist if you are African American, because it's a cultural experience. It's a thing that they will comprehend,
Yes.
despite whatever
It's
you.
like you don't even have to explain it. You don't have to explain nothing to them. They just get it. Like you might have to explain the context,
Yeah.
but they'll understand how you felt, why you felt. Yeah.
Mhm. I roll up on therapy and I automatically knew what I was dealing with. I was like, "Whoa, how you know that?" I could see it. And then and a lot of them are Christians, so they're quoting the Bible to you and letting you know, "Hold up, what does Genesis say?" And da 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 da. What does it say? All right, get your stuff together.
Mm,
That's what it says.
right.
Leave it alone. Go about your day. But this is what we're gonna work through. So it's a sense of holding you responsible for yourself. And I would say it is a
Right.
different. It I don't want to use aggressive. I want to say a straightforward type of therapy. So don't step into it if you're
Yeah.
not ready for it, because you might get a little scared. But just know that scared is just letting you're alert. So
Hmm.
get into that therapy. It's an experience and it's fun. It really is. I would say therapy is fun if you make it fun. It don't ever have to be serious all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. It does feel like I'm talking to like a friend or like my mom, like just easygoing conversation once, we get past all the healing part.
If you got a therapist that's always just completely just like strict, straight faced all the time, it, like
Mm,
they don't crack a joke or you don't have some type of fun or laughing. I don't know, just kind of like maybe got to reevaluate that a little bit, because life is not serious
mm,
all the time and it's not always about
hmm.
diagnosis. I don't
Right.
if you trying to diagnose, you trying to do all that stuff, like you really trying to look at me as a case study. I need you to see me as someone that is wanting to better myself. I need you to see me as the person that I'm coming to you to help me. It ain't the other
Yeah.
way around. You didn't come to me to help me. I
Right.
came to you to help me. So I'm asking you to help
Yeah.
me be held responsible for the goals that I'm having. Other than you trying to tell me how I need that I got this and that disorder and all these disabilities and all this extra stuff. I need you to go straight to the Bible. The Bible says,
Okay.
you could do all things through Christ that says so and so and so and so. And that black church, that's what you said. Diagnosis
Yeah.
where? Hard headed, but you gonna get it together. It's
Yeah,
serious.
I was a little nervous when I did start therapy because I didn't want to be diagnosed as anything. Like I didn't want no diagnosis. That scares me. Like, what? Like, who's depressed?
Yeah.
I'm no, But I understand that's how therapy I have to understand that's how therapy works. But, I was scared for that label. I didn't want that.
So let's
So
talk further about that. Like, what is it about that? Because I had that same anxiety. I really do. That if I say something, my therapist's gonna be like, you know what? They writing it down like,
like she needs to go too.
they be like, it's a safe space. Now I know what you're doing there. You better hold up. I know what to say and what not to say. You're gonna get caught up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's like I said, I keep wanting to say I'm a Virgo, but I am like I feel like I am perfect. Like there's nothing wrong with me. And though there is, like I know I have things to work on and I have, healing to do, but I didn't think I was depressed. I didn't think, I could ever get that low. I thought it was just, everybody has their days, but it turned into weeks upon weeks. Like I was just like, whoa, like, okay, so maybe this is a different, mindset or that I've come, accustomed to and I don't even know how to get up out of it. And so it was just like really just putting my own pride aside. Like yeah. You got some things, some real bigger things to work on, outside of work and, friendships. No, you got something internally you're not perfect on. And not saying I have to be perfect, but that's just the mindset that I would like I'm in all the time. So it's just like when she said, yeah, we have to diagnose you with something. So, you have to so you can come. I said, huh? Oh,
Yeah.
diagnose. We can't just talk.
Right. Right.
She's like, no, you have to you have to have something wrong with you, or like you have to have something you need to work on. I was like, okay. And then she's like, so how you been? I'm like, and then starts reading me in that way. I'm just like, okay. So
I love when I used to. I used to be like, you know what? Let me try to make it sound as clean as polished, like I'm on a job, just so you can. Because I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. You're not about to say I'm crazy, But I learned that certain like therapists, when you come in with insurance, they have to diagnose you because they have to send that to the insurance company to let
yeah,
them know that they're treating you for that specifically. So most
yeah,
therapists, when you're coming in and they see anxiety, it'll just be generalized anxiety.
yeah,
If that's just what they're seeing. They might, like, if you having different like things or like depression, they'll put it in the notes, but your main diagnosis, what they send, like you can always, I didn't want to allow to share this with people. You are legally obligated to ask your therapist. You can at any time for your therapy notes. And also at the same time, if you want to know about what you're being diagnosed with, you can always ask that therapist. If you do not agree with that, you can always share it with your therapist. Why? Because these notes are on file, so it's in your actual background. So you want to make
mhm,
sure that they're filing their notes accurate about you, because I've had to speak to a therapist like, hey, I need to see my notes, and I'm like, oh no, this is inaccurate. Well, I was just kind
right,
of starting stuff. No, you got to be mindful, because those things that they write down may be something that they're just doing, and you may just be comfortable with your therapist, but you got to be able to share and educate with your therapist on how to best um, interpret what you're sharing with them, because
yeah,
they're used to
that's
having
true.
patients come in and they're acting all types of ways. So they're not used to sometimes having people come in that have gone through things and they're not doing certain behaviors. So
Yeah,
they're diagnosing or doing certain things based off of previous clients or current clients.
yes,
So
yes,
be do not be afraid to ask your therapist, okay, what is this treatment plan? Could we change this treatment plan? What's my diagnosis? What's my therapy notes? Because that lets you know if you have a really great therapist by how they're taking notes. Because if they're taking notes and all those notes are negative, 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 that's not it.
mm, that's
But
real. I never really thought about like asking my therapist, "What you writing?" Like, huh?
I
Like,
I'm that person. What you just write right there. And this to a point now, my therapist don't even write. She be trying to take notes in session, and I'm just like, because what you doing? Because I need to know that what you might be writing is accurate. Because it's somebody, because I want to be in the behavioral health field one day, and do other things as well. They actually, subpoena those notes from her, like, hey, we need this. They need to. I need to know that she you're seeing the accurate stuff, because they don't care what you mean verbally. They care what you said on those notes. And that's age. That stuff actually does not, they don't look at it as in, oh, this was years ago or months ago. They look at it as in, okay, that's what they said. So
mhm,
you got to be mindful of that. But
yeah.
what do you mean by cognitive or behavioral, Miss Davis? Could you clarify, elaborate on that? But in the meantime, but yeah, therapy is as safe as we allow a therapist to feel, and the therapist allows us to feel. And I
Yeah.
would say 100%. But also, that was 100% when you said that uh, people, I think a lot of people feel that. I might could be wrong. If you agree, drop it in the chat. If you don't agree, that people, that the anxiety of, if I go to therapy, am I going to be diagnosed with something that is that I can't bear? That's something that is going to become identity. Because I told my therapist this. I told her, I was like, look, the way that society is set up and it's being set up, you give someone a label, that becomes them. They internalize that. Their name, aside from the name Naomi, you're gonna always see anxiety. You're gonna always see depression. Opposed to
Mhm.
seeing that Naomi, it is not depression then Naomi. It's not Naomi then depression. It's the fact that you're feeling all the things that you're feeling. It's one of the same. It's like, hey, I'm dealing with these emotions that are normal. They're
Mhm.
normal to feel. We've made society has made it feel so overbearing to feel that it has become a label for everything, and it has become a such job for therapists and psychiatrists to diagnose you, it to make you feel like that now you're with a group of people statistic wise that have all these issues and problems. So what are you going to do
Yeah.
walking around? What you going to walk around doing? I have anxiety. So now because I have anxiety, I don't want to go around those people. I feel depressed. So I'm just going to go around these people that have low energy. Or better yet, I'm just going to stay to myself because that's what I was told. Words are
Yeah.
powerful. They're powerful.
Yeah.
Whether they're wrote down, and I told my therapist this, whether you write it down or you say it, those words are powerful because somebody's going to interpret that whatever the way they feel.
Okay.
It's not just what's wrote down. Behavioral to change how you behave,
Hmm.
cognitive to change the way you think.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah, so and so. But yeah. Fluent, I want to elaborate more on that. Miss Davis says they actually go hand in hand, but one may need more attention than the other. I want to talk more on that. I'm sorry. People that go through certain challenges in life and they're functioning perfectly fine in society do not need so much titles and diagnoses. What they need
Yeah.
is exposure therapy. What they need is if you hear, hey, I've gone through this trauma where I've been homeless, what they need is to know what stability is. They need to know that, hey, I have a house that I have a roof over my head, whether it's a house or apartment. That's exposure therapy. Not say, hey, you're dealing with social anxiety and trust issues. Of course I am. I've never felt safe in the environment because I never had a roof over my head.
Okay. Yeah.
People out there that really do have issues because challenges, because those challenges have come because of the trauma they've gone through. The brain is so
Yeah.
powerful that it can suppress all of the hurt and the pain, so it's burying it. So what we think is buried from a verbal aspect becomes a physical aspect, meaning as in you're
Yeah.
acting it out. So what you're seeing is the
Mm.
acts of somebody's hurt and pain and the things they've gone through, and it's out there, but we're judging the behavior without realizing why. And then when we hear why, it's like people go through stuff all the time. That's not how you need to approach it. How you need to approach it is mind your business. If you're not trying to help them, pray for them and move on. Because words are powerful.
Yes.
They are. There's people
Yes.
that need those services, such as mental institutions, because they need that rehabilitation. And some people stay long term because they need that because of the pain they've gone through and they were subjected to for the long period of time or the short period of time became so unbearable that their brain started protecting them. That's what
Hmm.
happened. Their brain's protecting them and they're acting out
Yeah.
in these behaviors in it's becoming, they're becoming it. It's no longer becoming a thing where they can speak of the hurt. It's like you ever met somebody's
Yeah.
going through so much hurt and pain, and they went through it, but they got all these
Yeah.
crazy, like this, not crazy, but these erratic behaviors. And you just
Yes.
they don't talk
It
about it.
took me a minute to realize that. Yeah, that's so real. Like within myself, it took me a minute to realize like why do I do that when I'm like upset or why do I need to take a minute, like it's not cuz I can't handle situations. That's my brain doing its thing.
Yeah, yeah, because you have a non-cognitive cognitive approach to dealing with a life, with dealing with life, in a cognitive approach. You're
Mm.
going to be like, hey, yeah, I've gone through these things and they're consuming me, and I'm going to be able to identify it. Or non-cognitive, like, hey, I I don't even
Mhm.
know I've gone through anything. I just know that I'm just being normally me, and that's what people do.
Mhm.
You see them do some out of this world stuff. You be like, that's not normal, and they believe it.
Mhm.
Can't tell them
Yeah.
anything.
And it's like it's even worse when or it hits harder when it's like somebody like your mom or somebody just close to you is just like if they don't understand that and they try to label it something, it's like, nah. And, the brain or, the brain or even just the person like doesn't have the energy to really explain themselves because they're already in that safety mode that, the brain does. It's
Yeah,
really real.
yeah.
Mm.
Because it's like when we remember when we were taking Dr. Woodson. Well, I was just her teacher today, but you were in the class. It was
Yes.
psychology, and there's a
Yes.
difference between therapists, which are counselors, and psychologists. Therapists, they're really trained just to clinically be able to just diagnose you. They're the research part, just learning certain things. Psychologists, they're on the higher level of being able to, deep research, really,
Yeah.
going deep into understanding your life and your childhood and all those different things. They're not in schools, they're outside of schools. They're not on the social work aspect. No shade to anybody that's doing that, because social work
Mhm.
is mainly to help you transition to whatever place you need to in your life and do a little bit of counseling. But the psychology is where it is the deep work in handling stuff.
Right.
But in that, you remember when she said that people that have gone through trauma are more susceptible to early, like to diseases of heart problems and Alzheimer's,
Hmm.
and how that it starts hitting in like their 30s, and people
Yeah.
don't realize that, and how it is high in African Americans. But like what I'm getting at with that is that we got to be aware that you're either going to take the take the initiative to heal, go to therapy. I know it's hard. You ain't got to tell anybody you go to therapy. That's between you, yourself, and God, and your therapist. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
other than that, do that, or else your body is going to shut down. You're going to have challenges, and it's
Yeah.
going to catch up to itself because the body is really powerful.
Yeah.
It's-
It's very powerful. Like, it's so funny because they say the nervous system or like your stomach and your brain are like connected, and like your nervous system is very very, it's very smart. Though you think you got it all handled, your body gonna think for itself, gonna do what it really really wants to do. And I've always tried to be like, oh, I'm okay. Like though my body feels like this, I don't need no help. But then like that nervous system is very, very real. Like you have to really listen to your body because you'll just go blind, like just trying to ignore it with, substance or even just friends, just trying to ignore it, especially if you don't have the right people around you to actively like help you through it or just even identify it without being negative about it. Like, hey, I see you're off. Like, you know, or just knowing how to be that safe space for that person who doesn't know how to really handle that nervous system output.
Because I like my sister, she had so much anxiety that
Hmm.
it not even say anxiety. She always thought something was wrong with her, so she went to the doctor. She always and the doctor was
Mm.
like, "You're perfectly fine." She's like, "But I feel something's wrong with me." What was wrong with her was not a medical thing; it was a
Mm.
mental thing. She needed to go to therapy,
Mm.
and a lot of people don't realize that. You going to the doctor, oh my backache, or I'm having headaches. That's something. That's mental. You're needing to check into therapy. You're needing to speak to somebody, not your friends, not your family,
Yeah.
somebody that can actually pinpoint what's going on with you, not to diagnose you, but to help you walk through what you're holding up. That's tension. That's in here. You're not dealing with something here. You're not dealing with something. Your back, your stomach, your body. That's your
Mhm.
body telling you that hey, it's something that's inside of you that's being held on that
Mhm.
you got to go speak to somebody. And yes, Ms. Davis, accountability partner for sure. Like I think it is important to have somebody in your life that can hold you accountable. You don't need to have
Yes.
everybody know your business, but somebody that can hold you accountable on being a better person or wanting to be better is very important. Not aiding in your
Right.
behaviors, not saying, not always telling you, give you a pat on the back. We need to have those people that's willing to tell us, hey, you slipping, get your stuff together.
I
100%.
will say my best friend, she is a God sent angel. Like I promise. Like, I don't know how she's become so emotionally intelligent, but she is very much that accountability partner for me. Like she really knows how to just identify when I'm left and just knows how to navigate it without, adding her emotions into it, just understanding that I am just going through something. Like she really understands me in a sense of just understanding like what I need, or the fact that she just needs to like give me some space. And I feel like I do the same for her, but I feel like sometimes I don't show up as much as she does because I just be going through so much mentally. But it's just like she is that accountability partner for me. Like she is just a God sent angel. So I also try to be that for her. But like I said, like I'm still growing, but I think it takes the consideration and just the mindfulness of understanding how many times she has showed up for me and just making sure that, when things go left for her, I'm doing my best. Just saying that. But that accountability partner, it's so real.
That's good.
So
And I do want to say, did you need to turn the light on? I know your light switched off. You can
no, the sun going down. Hold on.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. In the meantime, you all, please go like and subscribe to Persperity Podcast. Your likes help me trend and get out there on YouTube to get these episodes out to people. If you could stop what you're doing and go and subscribe if you have not subscribed, or share this episode. You never know who it may bless. Um, and I do thank you for tuning in. Help me get to my goal is before the end of the year to get to 300 subscribers. I'm at 128. So help me
Wow.
reach the people that these videos need to reach. But but yeah, I do want to touch more on the fact of safe space. What is that? What does that mean to have a safe space? And what does safe space feel like?
Um, so safe space, it can be physical and it can be mentally. Like you can be somewhere and you're not comfortable, but like you can speak to this person, like you cool, like with them. But when it comes physically,
Mhm.
for me, a safe space, I like clean. It has to just I'm not clean all the time. I can't lie. But I do like things to have a place. I'm picking up after myself. So I do like just like a clean space. When I look at my space,
Mhm.
things have to be in order. And maybe that's just the Virgo in me. I just like things to just have a place, like, but when it comes to mentally, a safe space is just somebody who can listen. Though they have their own opinions, they don't like enforce their opinion, or they don't, well, I don't like that, like they don't just jab on your idea, like, though it not, sometimes we all not thinking right, like we all have our own opinions to things, or we don't see the same eye. Cool, that's a whole part about being human, but it's like a safe space for somebody, like mentally, it's just somebody who can take that in and not like change how you feel about it, like in a, because like I guess, yeah, just not change how you feel about it, like
Good.
they might react in a way like that's like, okay, well, how about you think about this in this way, like what if I said this, it's like a more of like a, a choice when they respond, instead of like a, that's crazy, like, whoa. Huh, like you tell me the way I think is crazy, like what if I told you that, like it's just like it's a mindful space.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I say.
It's Prosperity Podcast. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. When you're mindful, then it hits different. But
Man, what?
when you further elaborate on what it means to listen, because I don't, I've had a lot of people ask this question and they be like, listen, and they pop up. What does that mean to listen?
I'm not even gonna hold you. I feel like I am still working on like like truly listening, because I have AD. I will say I have a little ADHD. Like my father, and my granddad have it, so it's in there. It's in me a little bit, and I feel like I'm a very active listener. I'm like, I'm like, and I always have to like add on something, like in a sense, like, oh yes, instead of just letting somebody finish out their whole thought.
Mhm.
But when it comes to like listening to somebody like spill on trauma and stuff like that, I would say it's just like listening without responding, or listening without trying to like change, like you just, oh, okay, like, well, maybe, maybe if you did this, it would change your outcome. It wouldn't be like, it's more like that. It would be like, it wouldn't be a, I don't have an example for it, but it would feel like they heard you, like, okay, I got that off my chest, like maybe I should think the way, a different way, because of how they responded, their response or their face gave like, oh, like my mindset is off, or my mindset is on the right track, it's not like but it's not like dramatic or anything, like it's just somebody being very mindful of how you show up, and they know who you are, so if it's a negative thing, they're not like coming at you, it's just like, oh, okay. How about you think of it like this? you know, that's what I would say. Like listening is for me.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people don't realize the importance of safe space until they're needing a safe space.
Yeah.
They be like, I'm needing that safe space. Well, sometimes the safe space that you're needing is what I was needing as well, But I just think that is important. Even when someone is coming with a negative aspect, and you're supposed to be somebody that they consider a safe space, or just somebody that's just trusting, it's not for you to judge what they're saying. It's for you to listen, to be able to, not respond, but listen, because in that you never know, that just showing up and being there. And or even when you feel like you want to respond, asking them, do you need me to listen, or do you want me to listen to respond? Because I, I can do both, or I could do either or. Or sharing with them, hey, I can. Is it okay? Is it safe to say something? Because it
Yeah.
could knock somebody off of that air, like flow that they're in, of sharing what they're
Yeah.
sharing. Because never underestimate the fact of someone coming to you when they're hurt or they're dealing with something.
Yeah.
That is not film. You could tell when somebody's coming to you being messy, and you could tell when somebody's coming to you when they're just hurt and they're dealing with stuff. It is not
Yeah.
your job when they're hurting, they're dealing with stuff, to try to change the circumstance because you don't like what they're saying. That's not safe.
Or even add on to it. Like sometimes I'm not necessarily trying to talk no smack. It's just what's facts, but it's
Yeah.
like sometimes I'm not trying to be in that energy. So it's really necessary. Okay, Val. It's very necessary to have those like accountability partners. And I feel like you said something that was like, am I listening to respond, or if I'm listening to, just listen? And me and my best friend, we had a little tiff about that. Like, we talk all the time. Like, I don't know if you know Snapchat. We always sending our days to each other, where like doing like basically like a vlog to each other every day, and like we rant, we tell each other about like our issues on Snapchat, and we listen to it every day. And like I said, she's very much an accountability partner and very emotionally intelligent, so she is always trying to give me advice and some things, but sometimes I just needed her to listen. Sometimes I didn't want a response, but she told me that she's like, Naomi, well, you have to let me know when you want me to listen, to respond, or listen to, just hear you out. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Because I don't think I ever really start off with that when I'm ranting. Because we are in like in our friendship is very much a growing mindset. We're always trying to just make sure we, even though if we step on each other's toes, it's like, oh, you all right? Like we don't even have to do that though. Like we are just so locked in. So it's just really, like if we did something very far left, which it really doesn't happen, but I just, it'd be me, like I'm still growing emotionally, so it's just like she checks me in that space. And I was gonna say, I mean, sometimes I do like want just her to listen, and I think that's just like the immature me, like not wanting any feedback on stuff. But sometimes she's like, no, this is a necessary feedback moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I had those people, and I'm that person too. That'll be like, hey, this is necessary feedback. Okay, I'm listening, but hey, I'm gonna listen as long as you need me to listen for about the couple hours. I look, but when you're
Yeah.
done, just know I'm gonna have to give you this feedback in this area, because
Yeah.
especially if it's a character thing, it's about
Yeah.
character.
And I feel like I'm feel like I'm still working on that tool, because like I said, like I grew up in a very people pleaser kind of like mindset, just like the way my parents groomed me. Like they're both military, and so I had to show up certain ways and places, like, and I didn't feel like I really wanted to, but because military, you cannot, can't act out. Sometimes you can't really be a kid, so it's kind of like I'm just pleasing what's going on in the moment. And so like I wish I could like be that for her sometimes, more of like a character, like like, hey, like, but I feel like she's so emotionally intelligent, I don't really have to say much. But when it comes to me, like I feel like um I don't be ready to hear that sometimes, because she not gonna please me. She gonna let me know what it is and what it ain't, and that's cool. And but she knows how to put it down, because she, like, mindful in that moment.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people need to identify your truth teller friends. Because if you don't have that, you look around and you always got a friend that's always uh girl, that's good, or and they don't tell you up front the challenges that they see. It's not
Yeah.
nitpicking. It's things that help you be better. Then
Yeah.
that don't mean that you don't need to be friends with them. It's just that you need to get around someone or people that are going to hold you accountable for being a better you.
Yeah.
Because it's you could be excited and happy and whatever it may be for people, but you build characters built when you're able to give somebody constructive criticism,
Yeah.
especially when it's someone you love. It's a friend,
Oof.
it's a sibling, it's a significant other. Do that. Be that person, because when
Yeah.
they hear from someone else, it's gonna hurt. And who you think they're gonna turn around and look at? Because you ain't said nothing. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to say it. Y'all locked in. You locked in. That means that, hey, ain't nothing breaking this apart. That means that whatever I say, you're gonna get upset, but we gonna be right back. We good.
Right. Right.
We'll be
It
out.
takes a very strong minded, or it takes a strong relationship
Mm-hmm.
to do that. I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do have a few more questions, then we're gonna wrap up. All right.
Mhm.
How do you practice mindful listening to the no, let me not do that. If your future self could send you a message today, what would it be? And what song would be playing in that background?
My future self, like so, if my future self, right, like was to send me a song right now,
So yes,
okay.
where you want to be, all the different things you want to do.
Mm,
Yeah. What song would be playing in the background? And if they were to send you a message today, what would it be? What would that song be in the background playing?
I'm not even gonna hold you. This came the other day to my mind. I know this song. I've been listening to this song for a while, but not in the past couple years, but it really hit when I first heard it. It's "Doubt" by Mary J. Blige. Um, something about that song. It's just it just makes so much sense. Like a lot of people pray on your downfall. They think you can't,
Mhm.
you're not growing. They think you what you're doing is, weird. And like, no,
That part.
you doubted me. That's cool. I'm gonna move on. I feel like that song is very much where I want to be. So,
Okay. Future self. I think you got to make you a
yeah.
time capsule. Put that song, put that CD in there, put it on the USB or something, download it, and then future self. Go ahead and
Yeah.
like year 2030, plug it in, or 2035, plug it into the computer or
Yeah.
whatever they have, electronic advancement or whatever. Just so you can
Yeah.
just to be in just nostalgic. It'd be nostalgic
Yeah.
video. But yeah.
I'm gonna definitely do that.
I think that'll be good. I challenge the viewers um to start building a time capsule for your future self. Where you want to be, what you want to do, what that song would be,
Mm,
what do you want your future self to have? Whether that is you just writing something down, you having a shoebox, or whatever that is. I challenge you all to do that.
I
In
like that.
future self could be next year, 2026. It could be 2027. It could be a couple months from now. That's your future self. So I challenge you, and then to be able to open that up, when you open it up, and then write about that, share, social media, whatever you are, share with someone else of how far you come, because I think a lot of times we miss how far we come, and it tears us down when we don't feel, because I'm that person, when I'd be like, hey, I'm doing all of these different things, but it doesn't feel like I'm doing enough. So I challenge you, because I definitely am going to start doing that.
I
um
like that.
Few comments on here. Naomi, thank you for explaining your definition of being a safe space for someone. I needed that understanding. um
Of course, Miss Freeman.
Cheryl Davis says it's okay to share with the listener that you only want them to listen, that you are using them as a sounding board. And then Rashana Freeman says it helps to let the person know if you want feedback or not. And she says, great idea, future time capsule.
Yeah.
A
That's
future mental health
perfect.
time capsule. And when we say mental health, that means that is, I'm going to say this, mental wellness is a better example of that.
Mm,
You are just inspiring your future self to see that I have made strides, rather than saying, I don't know how far I come. You can look back and say, this how far I come. You can make another
yeah.
after you open another one. So, all right.
Yes.
But
Mm.
next question. How has the pursuit of self discovery impacted your career or your sense of purpose in the world?
I would say the pursuit of self discovery has manifested in like just being like true to me. Like
Mhm.
you are intelligent. You are deserving to be in this room. Just really just stepping into like my self love, and once they say once you love yourself, you're able to love others as you want to. And I feel like that self discovery was just truly knowing how to love myself and what that looked like and choosing me. Like a lot of like that whole people pleaser thing, like it takes a toll on you if you don't realize what you're doing. And like though like, I am young and I haven't experienced everything. Like, I do want to help my friends, but there are people that use you and they don't even realize it. So it's just like being enough in your self-love that you understand when people are disrespecting you. So you can authentically put out the love and that it's not forced, it's not fake. So just truly like just discovering that love for myself. I felt like I was able to advocate for myself and advocate for others and truly love others and truly just, put like a lot of my issues aside and just, be there for people. But at the same time,
Yeah.
not doing too much where I'm not like I'm still loving myself and I'm not giving too much.
Mm. So it's not a part of the last question, but what does Naomi need, and how can people show up for you?
I'm still trying to figure out what they need. I'm still trying to figure out, but I just feel like I'm very independent. I don't really need help. I don't really need, though they say, the strong black woman. I try not to be, but I grew up around women, period. So it was kind of hard for me not to be that independent person, take care of everything. I'm good on my own. So I don't need to depend on anybody. So I guess what I need, like, I would just need like a safe space, like somebody really to just confine in, somebody who you don't have to understand what I'm going through, but just hear me, and don't like I need a safe space for my accomplishments. I feel like a lot of times, like in the spaces that I thought were safe, they weren't. Like it took a lot of like classes and just conversations to understand where people who say they're proud of you, but they when you share something they override it with something they did. Like whoa, that's not proud. That's tit for tat. So it's just like just a safe space for somebody to truly just let me become like comfortable in sharing my accomplishments and where I've done and where I've been and how I've healed, just and understanding that because I feel like the only person that really understands is a therapist and my best friend. Like that's just the closest people to me to truly like be happy for me. But I'm still working on that circle, and I won't say I don't have friends in that circle who don't do that. Like like they know how to like.
All right. Naomi, I think we lost you a little bit. Sorry, y'all. We gonna try to get Naomi back. In the meantime, if you're watching, please go subscribe to Persperity Podcast. Um, and please share this video. All right, we got her back on.
Am
All
I
right,
back?
yeah, go ahead, go ahead. You was flowing.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, go ahead. You was flowing. I was listening. I told you before. This is a safe space. So
Okay.
whatever
No,
you
I'm
feel,
done.
I'm not gonna interrupt you. There's no right or wrong. So I want you to get your,
Hmm.
whatever you're needing out of this episode, whatever you're wanting to share. Because whatever is in you to share,
Hmm.
someone is going to be blessed by that and they're needing that. So, I'm not trying to pull anything out of you. I want you just naturally just flow. So you're not talking too much or too less. Safe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened with my phone. It kind of like reconnected, and I thought I had left the chat for a second. But yeah, I just say that I just like a real genuine safe space. Like I've been in conversation with people who know how to create safe space, and they're like, share. Like I start saying something like even you literally just did it. Like they know how to create safe space. They're like, no, share, and they don't get negative or they don't put on these terms necessary for the moment.
I think it's very important. And again, I share this with a lot of people. God was using me for this on entire podcast because I told him there's no safe space for people that have gone through tumultuous circumstances or trauma, or people want to share their story, and they want to share when they're ready. So it's like, he was like, create the space. I was nervous. I was like, nobody's going to listen to me. They think I'm mean. They think I'm all these things. And I'm like, I've been through a lot of trauma and tumultuous circumstances. But, little behold, 39th episode, and people are really wanting to share their stories. They're wanting to, be in this space, to be heard. It's liberating for them. They feel empowered to go out and do what, they're called to do, and walk into their purpose in their journey. And I try my best to do panels, and I'm doing a panel, if you like to do it, to join next Monday, where I'm bringing back a couple guests, and they're just going to share where they are. So it's definitely been a blessing with them being on this show, because it's not just for show, it's 100%. Like, I meet people in public. You want to talk, I
Mhm.
can talk. But in this, it's like
Yeah.
they get that public space where they can share it, and somebody can come back and be like, oh my gosh, like, this person is amazing. And I've had that. I've had people tell me that, oh my gosh, I need to get in contact with that guest. That guest is amazing. Wow. How they're talking about what I'm dealing with, So you don't think being on this podcast, this episode, has been something that has not been a blessing or impacting someone. People are watching and they're sharing, and it's blessing people.
Yeah.
So the choice to get on here, it was not just out of just a coincidence or anything. It's because someone is listening right now and they need this. Somebody is a grandparent listening because their granddaughter is battling what you're battling. Their daughter's battling what you're battling. Their grandson, friend, auntie, uncle, they're dealing with it. So you're giving them the blueprint on how to move forward. So you're blessing
I
them.
mhm.
Um,
I appreciate you just asking me to come on here, honestly. I was so surprised, but I was like, I'm here for it because, you are so sweet. And I remember, I don't know if you remember this conversation that me, you, and Dr. April Wood
April Woods.
had, April Woods had, and it was like about what we're gonna do like outside of this. And I remember like she was asking me like what I wanted to be, and you were right there. I don't know if you remember, Kwane was my teammate was there as well, and you were like, AmeriCorps, AmeriCorps gives you all these jobs. Da, da, da. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm like, I don't know, nah, like we'll see, we'll fill it out. I promise you that has been the stamp for where like where I started and where I am now. I promise, like. I just thank y'all almost every day. I try to keep up with Dr. April Wood, but she is a busy gal. She is busy. So I just, it fell off. But I just really appreciate y'all. That's why when you texted me, I was like, oh, I have to do this. Like, get out of my comfort zone and just do this. Cause you really set me up. I promise. Both of y'all.
No problem at all. I wanted you all to be great, and I knew you all were going to be great. What she's referencing was I was a teacher's assistant at Clarkland University when I was at Clarkland University for a professor at CAU. So, and I connected her with AmeriCorps, and she had an opportunity over the summer of 2023, right, to go to
Yes.
California, right? Was
Arkansas.
it
Arkansas. I
Arkansas? Yeah.
wish. Arkansas.
So Arkansas, and she did some great things. So she was thanking me for that. Like, you don't ever have to thank me. I'm very big, and I appreciate your thanks. Like, I'm very big on connecting people. If I can connect you to get somewhere, that is my goal. Because I know that opportunities, are they're gonna go. They're gonna come, but other times it's like it's not what you know, it's who you know. So, and I definitely want you to be great, anybody to be great. If I can help, I'm a help. It don't matter if I get along with you or not. Let's get it popping, because you ain't even got to say thank you or whatever. But I just think it's important, because that's a blessing, and being a blessing to people. And look where it has gotten you. You're about third grade teacher, right?
Seventh.
Seventh grade teacher, and you model,
Literally, like,
like,
yeah.
to God be the glory. Wow.
Yeah.
Um,
It's definitely landed me in Baltimore for sure.
and that's big. That's not that far from New York. So that means God leveling you up. You done went from
Mm.
Florida to Georgia to Baltimore. You about to hit to that New York.
Yeah.
You never know.
I didn't even think about it like that. I have been going up. Mm.
Mhm.
Literally.
Underestimate what God doing for real. Well, Rashana Freeman says, at Naomi, great point. Even people who are strong and who are there for others need everybody. Cheryl Davis says, finding that safe space is by trial and error. Rashana Freeman says, great point. Everyone needs a safe space for someone to listen to them, even if they appear strong and are always there for others. That's how we can all stay healthy mentally. What subject do you teach?
Guess. Just based off I'm a psych major. I feel like it's not that hard, but maybe you might guess science, but no. Um I'm a ELA teacher. I teach you English, teacher. No, that does not sound right. Do it again. But no, definitely English. I feel like that was the safest or the most touching subject for me. I don't feel like I can really connect with kids through math or science or social studies. I feel like through ELA I can really be myself through my psych degree because I mean teaching is not my goal. I want to be a school psychologist, and we have one of my schools. She is just exactly what I want to be. But I'm just getting my foot in the door, in the school this way through this program. See, you know me, Miss Freeman. Yeah. So yeah, I just feel like ELA was the safe, like the most touching one for me. Like it answered my why as a teacher more than the other ones. Like math is cool, but they don't need me for math. I'll help you out with the ELA.
Do you
Get
do
you right.
tutoring?
I'm sorry.
Do you tutor?
I mean, so my school, my job, they do have days where we have to stay and tutor the kids. So, but no, I've never necessarily tutored myself. No,
Okay.
like my cousins. I mean, helped him study for the ASVAB. That's the closest to tutoring.
Okay. It might happen in the future. You
Yeah,
never know. You never know.
exactly, exactly.
But I have one more question for you before we wrap this up.
Okay.
Final question. For someone who feels like their life soundtrack has been on pause, what's the first note they should play to begin their journey of self discovery?
Hmm. Touch some grass. Go outside. I promise. I promise. If you go outside and just start people watching, or just like really just, it's not necessarily getting back into reality, but I would say it's taking yourself out of reality. Like do something that's unordinary that you wouldn't do. I saw something that said like walk backwards. Like your brain is gonna be like, oh, whoa, okay, let's figure this out. Like just change the scene, change it. Like just do night and day, something like that. Like it might be a little uncomfortable at the beginning, but once you really you start like noticing like, okay, I am okay. I'm sitting here, I got my drink in my hand. I'm okay. Like I'm fine. Like I feel like, and then you start really like just dissecting why you might be upset in your head, and I also will say like just taking time for yourself. Like when you do go in these uncomfortable, un unrecognizable environments, do it by yourself. Like though your friends, help you get through things, but so it ain't nothing like sitting in that by yourself and like journaling. But yeah, go touch some grass, whatever that is, and whether the chair is on the grass, and the table, you just looking at the grass, just you know, go touch some grass.
That's good. Go touch some grass. Wow. Go touch some grass. Grounds. Ground in me. Connect with earth. I love that. Great advice.
Yeah,
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah.
Is there
Mhm.
anything that I did not ask or you would like to share before we wrap up the podcast?
Um, Not necessarily. I feel like everything, I kind of got everything out, honestly. I feel like you asked really, really good questions. I wasn't even prepared for any of these questions. I feel like it's just free flowing. Like, I feel like you hit the noggin on everything, honestly.
Okay. All right. So, before I do my interaction, how do you feel? How did it feel
One more
being on
time.
the podcast? How do you feel? How did it feel being on the podcast?
It felt good. It felt like almost like a therapy session. I'm not gonna lie, but because you're so intelligent. But it felt like it felt like I was able to pour. It felt like I was releasing. Honestly, it feels good in this space.
It's good. Well, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Persperity Podcast. I'm so grateful to my guest, the amazing Naomi Andrews, for sharing her wisdom on the soundtrack of self discovery. I hope her story helps you tune in to your own life's composition and find the melody of your authentic self. Remember, the journey of healing and finding yourself is a process, not a destination. So be patient with your journey and kind to your mind. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join me next week for more insightful conversations. Until then, keep composing that soundtrack of your own life. Thank you so much, Naomi, for being a guest and everything that you shared. You've been amazing and awesome, and I hope to have you on a podcast again. And you already know how to contact me. You have my phone number, social media. Blessings to you. Thank you. All right. All
Thank
right,
you.
everybody. Tune in next week.
In the shadows we find our light. Through the struggles we will take flight. Healing hearts and mending minds. Together we'll leave the past behind. Welcome to Prosperity